What's going on, League of Legends community? My name is JSS Productions, and this video is my beginners and intermediate guide to play League of Legends. Now, to start off, I have 8 parts for you guys in this video. The first one being champion roles, the second one being choosing your champion, the third one being the basics, the fourth one being terms to know, the fifth one being crowd control, the sixth one being the pinging system, and the seventh one being tips and tricks, and the final one and eighth one is teamwork and sportsmanship. Stick around. So to start this off, this is the champion roles that you will have while playing League of Legends. Fighter, mage, marksman, support, assassin, and tank will pretty much be in every single one of the games you play, and the champions that you could possibly be playing. Now, as far as these go, I will go over all of these in just a second and what each of them does. These you can get in Team Builder. They're icons that you can get as you play through it. Which I could probably put in a different video, but so I'm just gonna get right into it, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the fighter role. So what that really is the top lane or jungle. It's really a mix between a tank and then a fighter mixed, or I guess I should say tank and assassin mix. So what that pretty much is they have a heavy survivability, and it's just like any other champion kid that can get really strong if fed a lot. An example of a fighter is like Jax, Jace, Nunu, and Wukong. Now the second common role of League of Legends, I would say, is probably a mage. This is typically based in the mid lane. And these are champions with powerful magic damage skills and support skills, but really low defense. And some are meant to really do a lot of high damage in a short period of time. Really another typical name for them is a burst caster or burst mages, while others usually deal damage over time. Like carry champions, they can bring their team to victory due to their ability power, which is what mages are, but really tend to fall off late game. Example of mage champions are Annie, Lux, Rumble, and Swain. And as we move on to the next role, this is called a marksman, and they're based in the bot lane. They're also termed as a ADC for attack damage carry. So basically the term carry is they're pretty much looking to carry you to victory. These champions really usually have a high DPS with a higher amount of maneuverability and escaping ability, make it easier to get very positive kill death ratios. An example of a carry are Ashe, Misfortune, Varus, and Vayne. The next role I have for you guys is called a support, and this is based in the bot lane along with your ADC. For the early parts of the match, you're going to be with your ADC, and you want to stick with your ADC for most of the game, I'd say. If you're having trouble finding your place in League of Legends, support is definitely a game changer, and to help aid your team, you can basically win the game by making smart plays with your support. The most common ability for the support champion is providing an ally with a shield of some kind, and also stuns for basically the ADC for them to get fed. Now that's what your job is, to get your ADC fed, and so you guys can win that way as well. You're also controlling the map with wards, warding all key areas in the map. These champions usually rely on their skills more than on auto attack. Example of a support champ is Nami, Soraka, Zillion, Thresh, and Leona. As for the next role I have for you guys, it is the assassin role, and this is mainly based in the mid or top lane. So really what they're specialized in is killing one champion as fast as possible. They are also tend to be very squishy, and they're also AD and AP carry. These champions are usually strong and can be tough to kill, especially if they're fed. An example of these champions who are assassins are Ahri, Akali, Fizz, Katarina, LeBlanc, and Zed. As for the sixth and final role, this is the tank role. Now, they're mainly based in the top jungle or support regions. Any way that you can provide damage and initiation for your team is what you would want to be for as a tank. So you can pretty much soak up damage and take damage for your team. Really, tanks are based off of setting up team fights inside the game. So a version of a tank is going to be Garen, Braum, Zac, Cho'Gath, and many more. So to start this part off, in the store there is a tab called the Champions. Now this will show every single champion in the game, all 119 of them. Now I have this X'd out, so it shows all the champions that I do not own. If I unclick this tab right here, it'll show all the champions in the game, including the ones I own. Really choosing your champion in League is going to be something you're going to have to figure out. I personally play every single lane, and I'm fairly decent at all of them. I main the top and mid lane now, and I do play a lot of support as of recent, but I do play all of them very well, and I know what to do in order to win. So that being said, really finding your champ as a beginner or intermediate, you want to start with an easier sided champ. So if I were to hit this price IP right here, it's going to bring me the lower price champions in League. Now they take a lot less skill to play, which is okay. You don't want to try to be a god at the game yet. You really just want to get the basics down and want to learn how to play the game first. Now you'll get to the more harder champs later once you start expanding yourself and expanding your mind throughout the League of Legends and trying to get it. So really all these champs right here are 450 IP, so these 8, and then your IP you'll get whenever you get more levels, and also whenever you win games. Also try to stay in ranked, or try to stay in games while you play. So Annie, Ashe, Garen, Kayle, and Master Yi are the top champs that I would probably try to play, that are fairly easy, and they will help you out a lot to start the game. And I'll go over terms in a second, and the basics and all that stuff as I go through this video. But those are really the champs that you'd want to choose to start out. I will be making more videos on as time goes along. So if you guys are wondering, oh, what's the intermediate level, or really the intermediate level of champions that you can play, I would say personally is start with Jax. He's kind of an intermediate champion. For that. There's also Twisted Fate's kind of hard. I wouldn't get to him yet. I actually main Twisted Fate. He's really good. So Teemo's fun to play for an intermediate level. Xin Zhao is a beginner intermediate level. So let's see. And then I'd say Katarina is also a good beginner level champion to play. She's very fun mid laner and assassin type. So those are really the champs that you'd want to choose to start out for beginner and intermediate. And I still do know players that still play these types of champs in my ranked games that I do play. So they're not like beginning champs, but they are very good champs to start out with. So for my third part of this beginner's guide, I will be going over the basics. And pretty much what that is going to be the summoner spells and farming. And I'll get to the farming in just a second, but I'm going to go over the summoner spells with you guys that you guys will be using every single game you will play in League of Legends. Now, what you're going to want to do is at the home screen, you're going to want to click View Profile, and then it's going to bring you to your profile. You're going to hit Spells. Now, what this does is going to show all the spells that you use inside the game, and some of them only unlock at level 1, and they unlock all at different levels, besides 4 of them. So you won't be using Garrison in Summoner's Rift. That's only for the supported game modes of Dominion. Now that being said, Clarity, Ghost, Heal, and Revive are the ones you get at level 1. Cleanse, Smite, Barrier, Teleport, Exhaust, Ignite, and Clairvoyance, as well as Flash, will all come at different levels, and I'll show you guys those in just a second. So Cleanse is level 2, Smite is level 3, Barrier is level 6, Teleport is level 6, Exhaust is level 8, Ignite's level 8, Clairvoyance is level 10, and Flash is level 12. Now you guys can check all these out, unless if you want to just pause the video and look at them as you go through. But if you guys want to look at these by yourself, that's perfectly fine. You can do that. I'm not going to go over all of them because it's just going to take too much time. But that being said, take a look at these, and I'm going to explain the ones that you're going to use the most, I would say, after level 13, or actually once you hit level 12. The ones you're going to be using the most is going to be Flash and Ignite. Flash and Ignite are pretty much mainly based for champions that are level, or that are top laners and that are mid laners. And then if you're going to want to be a jungler, you're going to want Smite and Flash. If you're a support, you're going to want Flash and Heal, or Flash and Exhaust, and then the ADC will be Flash and Heal. So those are the different types of things you're going to be using. This is the main ones you're going to be using: Flash, Exhaust, Ignite, Smite, and Heal. And then teleport's also kind of popular depending on where you play at. So basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 are you're gonna be mainly using. And some people do use clarity and barrier. It's just really the dependent preference. But I'm just gonna tell you guys right now that later in the game, when you start getting better, when you start getting more leveled up, you're gonna be using these main 6. It's gonna be flash, teleport, exhaust, ignite, smite, and heal. So that is just to let you guys know. So I wouldn't really worry about clairvoyance, cleanse, revive, clarity, or ghost. Ghost is really used for champions that like Singed. Singed is a champ where he needs to run away a lot and just let people follow him, so he needs a speed buff. Which there are items on in the store, in Summoner's Rift and all the stores, that do give movement speed buffs and stuff like that inside the item itself. So you can have this, but I would recommend Flash, and I would recommend Ignite or any of these other ones, depending on what position you're playing. Now that's something you're gonna have to figure out while you're going. I will make videos on. I've already had a series on how to lane in League of Legends, so I can do definitely other videos on where or what summoner spells to use for beginner players, because you guys won't understand that yet. You won't know it. So I'll be sure to make a video on it. I'm gonna be glad to. I love doing this, guys. So I'm just letting you guys know. So as far as the basics go, there's a term in League of Legends that most of the League of Legends players use and know really much about. Is the term last hitting. Now, as you can see in this video, I'm last hitting the minions when they're at low health. That is what the term last hitting means, is I'm last hitting the minions to get the gold for the kill. Now, if you don't hit the minion, you don't get the gold for the kill. Now, I don't really miss one in this video in particular, but I'm just showing you guys that every time you last hit a minion and you take the last hit on the minion, you get the gold for that minion kill. Now, what that means is that it always stacks up. So it's always good to last hit. Don't be afraid. Sometimes even last hitting is even more than getting fed. It's even better. So that is one term that's very clear to always stay up on. Last hitting is key, and never forget about it, because you're going to want to use it throughout League of Legends. For the fourth part of my guide, this is the terms to know page. Basically, all these terms that are on the screen right now are all terms that are used in the League of Legends community. So ADC, CS, CC, AP, AD, MR, and OP are all terms that are used. The ones that you would want to really know about are CS, CC, OP, and ADC. Those are the ones that you're really going to want to care about. I'll get into crowd control in just a second. Now onto the fifth part of my guide, which is crowd control. It is a term used to describe an ability or a spell that temporarily reduces a unit's ability to fight. So that being said, there are 4 main types of crowd control: stuns, slows, knock-up, and silence. Now if you're going to read this column correctly, the stuns would go Leona, Taric, and Morgana. Slows would go Thresh, Ashe, and Shaco. Knock-up are Blitz, Cho'Gath, and Zira. Silence are Soraka, Garen, and Cho'Gath. Those are the main types of crowd control, guys. Those are very important to know, because you're going to want to know this when you're picking your champs, to know which each action does. Alright guys, so this is the pinging system. This is my 6th part, and there's many different ways to do it. So the 4 different ways you can do it is the key on your keyboard, V, and then G, which I'll go over in just a second, and then also at the bottom right at the top of your map, in the little mini map, there's red and yellow. Now those are the slower ways, so I don't recommend using those. Alright, so whenever you hit V, it's going to bring up this little box, and you can either do enemy missing, you guys can do danger, you guys can do enemy, on my way, and then assist me. So those are the 4 in the box, and then G does the same exact thing. You can do it either way. Now if you hit V, you can do it quick, so if you hit V, you hit an enemy assisting. And then so if I go back and I start trying to use the red right there, it's a lot slower, as you can see. It's not very fast. It takes me a lot longer to do it. And also you have to look at where you're clicking, because it's a small place to click. Or you can hit the V button like I just did and do it really quick right there. So that's why it's so important. It's really good for communication amongst your teammates. It's very good to know. You guys probably won't use it until like level 16 and above. So really don't pay attention to the pings yet. Make sure you guys can focus on your other stuff first, like the basic summoner spells and the basics of abilities inside your champs, and learn different champs first. So guys, basically that's the pinging system. It's very simple, very straightforward. As for my next part, it's very simple. Tips and tricks. Stay positive. Always be on the lookout for enemies. Don't be scared to wander from your turret. And check bushes at all times. You guys want to be aware of this at all times. And definitely stay positive. Don't get mad at your teammates. For my 8th and final part, teamwork and sportsmanship is probably the most important thing in League of Legends. Working with your team is going to make you win a lot more games, and staying positive is going to make you win more games as well. Now, that being said, teamwork, you need to work as a team in order to win the game. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please comment, rate, subscribe. I will have another video on advanced guides to League of Legends. And so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up and have a wonderful day.